right, so here we are. Drive number 230 on a 175 kilometer journey from central Kampala to northern Kayunga district. We're on the last 70 clicks of the journey, which is basically a logging road. For those of you from North America, you would understand what that is. Kind of take a look here. There's a lot of potholes. I push, you gotta push. And it ain't easy, man. These roads are brutal. Yeah, this is the road I do every single week for the last 4.5 years. I've been doing this at least twice a week. To make sure that the city aspect of my life and the company and also the village aspect of the company have been taken care of. And it's a heavy cost, both financially on the company itself, but also physically and mentally on myself, which then of course always translates. Anytime you have a heavy physical and mental toll, it'll always translate into an emotional aspect as well. So you have to find ways to mitigate that. For me, my tendonitis in my right arm, and then also my tendon in my right leg from the gas pedal, because you're doing all these minute, continuous, prolonged adjustments with your foot. And then, of course, your arms are always active when you're driving like this. You end up getting some, mild to medium, borderline irking pain. Which just comes with it. And why bother, right? Why would I leave a cushy lifestyle in North America to come out to Africa and do this? Well, I'll tell you, the people I'm working with and the communities that I'm living in out here and the places where I'm investing and spending the money that investors are giving us, it's worth it. Because to me, when you come to the edge of civilization, as we have, when you come to the fringe, if you will, you not only witness the worst of the worst poverty in the world, but you also witness the best of the best humanity in the world. And I really truly believe that without doing and making these types of sacrifices and bold investments that we're doing with Priceless Farms and Ventry and the Lift the Children Academy and all the things that we're doing out here, Moringa for Kids and all this, I really don't see a future for humanity. I think we need soldiers of fortune in the sense of peacemakers of fortune, And the only reason I mention video games is endurance and respect for the game, Our world is suffering and we're coming into a head-on collision with a lot of bad stuff. These are the trucks we're facing every day. I gotta pull right over. Because he won't move. That sugarcane truck won't move. If he pulls over even just 3 degrees on the bank, you can see the bank on either side of the road here, he'll tip right over. And I really feel like since I was in my teenage years when I started to consciously wake up as an individual with respect to how I relate to the world, that we're hitting so many tipping points. And a tipping point, people who like to argue like, oh yeah, the environmental thing is not that big of a deal, and oh, everything's okay, what are you talking about, global warming is a farce. I don't care. I don't care about that. What I care about is that there are people dying from environmental catastrophe, and most of the environmental catastrophe that we're facing is caused by human behavior, and there are things that we can do to fix it. And that's what I'm here in Uganda doing, is I'm fixing some, and I'm proving that we can fix some of these environmental catastrophes. So I don't want to get all crazy scientific and start spitting out the rhetoric and the sort of belief systems that other environmentalists are trying to do. I'm trying to be sort of that real environmentalist who's like, you know what? I believe that there are people dying because of other people's behavior indirectly, with respect to toxicity, with respect to resource grabbing and resource mismanagement, which is also just another way of saying resource use, which is inappropriate in that sense. And I'd like to use the wealth and the power that I've been given as a North American, as a Canadian middle-class citizen with an incredibly powerful family and so much love and prosperity in my life, to be able to say, look, I'm not just going to sit back and idly wait for the world to implode and for so many children to starve to death because of, these implications which are associated with modern living in our era, which is the industrial era. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to use the skill sets that I have. I'm going to use the ideas that I've been given, the knowledge that I've been given, the gifts that I have from family to friends to wealth and prosperity and all these infrastructural things that I've been gifted with. And I'm gonna do my best to sort of course correct what little I can. And now, being as confident as I am in proving that we can eradicate poverty, in proving that we can reduce global warming in a microcosm, as I've proven with Priceless Farms, with Forever Forestry and the Roofing's Forever Forestry Guild, with all of these different projects that I've done, at least you have an example of, actually, when people make the right kind of sacrifices, when people dedicate themselves in the right kind of way to push themselves to the limit, to go out to those fringe layers of society, to those edges, those places where the cracks began, and start to glue them back together and really piece together a true solution, we can realistically see a prosperous future and develop blueprints and manifest blueprints and projects that will see our next generations develop a truly sustainable and a truly clean economy globally. And that's really what this is all about. We're going to end child malnutrition, number one barrier to development. We're going to finish that off with Moringa. Then we're going to move on to agroforestry, and we're going to teach you all about that. Then we're going to move on to sustainable investments in agroforestry in the impoverished regions of the world. And we're going to show that actually where all the problems are the most severe, the solutions are most apparent. And we need to drive out there. We need to spend the money and spend the wealth that we have left right now that's been developed, and we need to actually get it done. And that's really what this drive is all about to me. It's an arduous, painful, endurance task to get out to the farm every single day, to leave my comfort zone way behind and develop something that's absolutely beautiful in this landscape that is going in one of two directions, which is determined by the way we behave. So thanks for your time. As always, Mr. Aaron Elton signing off. Love you all. Take care, and God bless everyone.